All right, let's unpack this. Today we're diving into a topic that, well, shapes our lives daily, our emotions. We're exploring insights from Thibaut Meurisse's Master Your Emotions. It's subtitled A Practical Guide to Overcome Negativity and Better Manage Your Feelings.
Yeah, a really practical guide.
This isn't just about, understanding feelings. It's about getting a practical how-to manual for them, which, honestly, many of us never got one.
That's true.
Our mission here is to extract the most powerful nuggets from this source, helping you understand how emotions truly work, and maybe more importantly, how you can use them as a tool.
A tool for personal growth, right? Instead of just being controlled by them.
Exactly.
It's striking how profoundly our emotions determine the quality of our lives.
Yeah.
The author points out they often feel like this mystical power almost.
Yeah, overwhelming sometimes.
Totally. Something that can prevent us from reaching our potential. So this deep dive will try to uncover why that happens and, hopefully, provide some actionable insights to navigate it.
So, whether you feel like you're battling negative emotions or you're just curious about your inner world, get ready for some real aha moments, I think. We'll journey from, your ancient brain wiring all the way to practical steps you can take to literally reprogram your mind for more positive feelings.
And quite a journey.
Let's begin with the fundamental question then. Why do we even have emotions? Our source has a lot to say about our brain's primary job.
Yeah, what's really going on behind the scenes? What about that survival mechanism?
Right.
The book makes it pretty clear.
Yeah.
Our brains are fundamentally designed for survival, not necessarily happiness.
Survival first.
Exactly. They still give significantly more weight to adverse events than to positive ones. Like, think about the fear of rejection.
Oh, yeah.
It was once a literal survival threat,
Right.
being cast out. Now it's hardwired to cause emotional pain, even when, logically, it might be no big deal.
So that explains why maybe one negative comment can outweigh tons of praise.
Precisely. It can lead to overdramatization, like imagining getting fired after just some minor criticism. That's often the ego jumping in.
And this survival instinct, it also connects to our modern cravings, doesn't it? The book brings up dopamine.
Ah, dopamine, yes.
How does this feel-good chemical, which was originally meant to ensure our species' survival, sometimes, hinder our happiness today?
Well, dopamine provides that intense sense of well-being. It rewards crucial survival behaviors, eating, mating, things like that.
Basic needs.
But today, it could be artificially stimulated. Things like social media notifications, gambling, even pornography. It can lead straight to addictive behaviors.
Right.
There's that tragic example of Lee Seung-seep, who died back in 2005 after playing video games for 58 hours straight.
Wow.
It just starkly illustrates how the system can be exploited, creating this kind of pseudo-happiness that can have really severe consequences.
So, okay, if our brains aren't really wired for constant happiness and dopamine can be a bit of a trap, what about that common belief, one day I'll be happy once I get the new car, or the dream job?
The I'll be happy when myth.
Yeah. Does that stuff actually bring lasting joy?
Well, the source introduces this concept called hedonic adaptation, and it's incredibly eye-opening.
Hedonic adaptation.
Yeah, there was a study back in 1978 that compared lottery winners and paraplegics.
Okay.
1 year later, both groups reported being about as happy or unhappy as they were before their big life-altering events.
Seriously, after winning the lottery or having a major accident?
Seriously. It suggests that, in the long run, external events have a pretty minimal impact on our baseline happiness.
Wow.
Sanja Lubomirski's research kind of backs this up. She found only about 10% of our happiness comes from external factors.
Only 10%. What's the rest?
About 50% is genetic, apparently, and a really significant 40% comes from internal factors, our thoughts, our actions, our mindset.
Okay, so that really shifts the focus inward, doesn't it?
Massively. It puts the onus right on our internal landscape.
All right, so beyond the brain, the book introduces another crucial player, the ego. What exactly is the ego in this context? How does it impact our emotions?
Right, the ego. Here it's described as a mind-created identity. It's the self-identity you've constructed from your thoughts, your interpretations. But it has no, concrete reality.
Mind created, okay.
And it thrives on identifying with external things. Think physical items like status symbols.
Like the fancy car again.
Exactly. Or your body, tying self-worth to appearance. Relationships, seeking approval. And critically, your beliefs. Religious, political, personal.
Beliefs too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So when these identities are challenged, we become defensive or upset. That drives a lot of our emotional reactions.
So it's more than just pride then. It's this whole system of identifying with things outside ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
The book gives examples, right? Like parents living vicariously through their kids in sports.
Yeah, or how attacking someone's political views can trigger such an extreme reaction. It feels like an attack on them.
Because it is an attack on their constructed identity. Okay, so what does all this tell us about the fundamental nature of emotions themselves?
Well, the big takeaway is that emotions are transient. They're temporary. They come and go like clouds across the sky.
Clouds. I like that.
And the key insight is we are not our emotions. We experience them.
We are not our emotions.
Right. So blaming ourselves for having negative emotions or trying to suppress them, that just creates more suffering. The book actually notes that negative emotions, much like physical pain, can be helpful signal.
Helpful.
They can nudge us, point out that something needs attention or needs to change in our lives.
That's a powerful shift in perspective, seeing them as guides, not just enemies.
Precisely. Guides, not enemies.
But the source also warns about the trickiness and the magnetic power of emotions. What does that mean for our internal dialogue?
It means emotions act like filters. They kind of taint our whole experience. When we're in a negative state, it's like we become a magnet for more negative thoughts.
Ah, the downward spiral.
Exactly, that vicious cycle. The book challenges us to compartmentalize our issues, to realize that the mental suffering about the emotions, not the emotions themselves, is what consumes most of our energy.
Suffering about the emotion.
Yeah. In fact, it suggests that many problems don't actually exist outside of our own interpretation. They exist only in our mind and in time, dwelling on the past or worrying about the future.
Okay, so given all these profound insights about our brain, the ego, the nature of emotions, the good news is we actually have some control.
We do, surprisingly much.
Our source offers a bunch of practical levers we can pull. Let's start with something really fundamental. Sleep. How does sleep directly impact our mood?
Oh, massively.
Yeah.
Poor sleep quality just tanks our emotional state, doesn't it?
Definitely feel that. Grumpy, hard to focus.
Right. And less able to enjoy positive things, too. The source highlights that chronic sleep deprivation even increases mortality risk and cost economies billions.
Billions, wow. So what can we do?
Simple stuff, really, but effective. Ensure your bedroom is pitch black. Avoid electronic devices before bed that blue light messes with melatonin.
DLT.
Relax your mind, maybe with soothing music. Read a physical book. And just establish a consistent evening ritual. Simple things.
Basic sleep hygiene, really. Okay. Beyond sleep, our physical being itself holds power. The book makes a compelling case for using our body to influence emotions.
Yeah, the body-mind connection is strong.
And a fascinating example is the science behind power poses, right?
Absolutely. Amy Cuddy's research, which is cited in the book, it shows that just adopting a high-power pose, standing tall, open for just 2 minutes.
2 minutes?
Yeah, can increase testosterone by 25% and decrease the stress hormone cortisol by 10%.
Yeah.
Which leads to feeling more confident, more willing to take risks.
That's incredible. And the opposite is true for low power poses.
Exactly. Slouching, making yourself small, does the opposite. And David K. Reynolds did this striking experiment.
What did he do?
He intentionally created clinical depression in himself just by consistently adopting a slouched posture and using negative self-talk.
He induced depression just through posture and thoughts.
Yeah. It really demonstrates that profound link. And it raises that important question. If you can sort of fake it till you make it into depression.
Can you do the same for happiness?
Right. Can you use your body to pull yourself up?
That story really drives home the connection. And it leads right into exercise benefits. What does the source say there?
Well, Michael Otto, a psychology professor, likens not exercising when you feel bad to not taking an aspirin for a headache.
That's a great analogy.
Isn't it? Studies show regular exercise can be as effective as antidepressants for mild to moderate depression. And it helps prevent relapse, too.
As effective as medication.
For mild to moderate cases, yeah. Even just 30 minutes of walking, say 5 days a week, can have significant mood benefits, both immediately and long-term.
Okay, so our body is a huge lever. What about our internal world, our thoughts, our words? How can we harness those?
Well, the book really emphasizes that idea.
Right.
We become what we think about most of the time.
Right.
So practices like meditation can help tame the monkey mind, the constant chatter.
Well, jumping thoughts, yeah.
Meditation helps create distance, reduce their impact. Visualization's another powerful tool.
How so?
Because our subconscious mind often can't tell the difference between real and vividly imagined experiences. So by simulating positive feelings, you can actually condition your mind.
Interesting. And words.
Words are crucial. Replacing self-doubting phrases like "I'll try" with more confident ones like "I will" can genuinely boost confidence. It's similar to Tony Robbins' incantations.
Incantations.
Yeah, repeating positive statements with real conviction to kind of rewire your beliefs.
I appreciate that focus on deliberate language. And the source reminds us about breathing, too. Often overlooked, right?
So overlooked yet so powerful. The way we breathe directly affects our emotional state.
How does that work?
Slowing your breathing down, like in practices like breath walk, can dramatically calm anxiety, fear, worry. Just one slow breath cycle per minute can optimize brain function and bring profound calm.
One cycle per minute. That's slow.
Very slow. But conversely, rapid breathing techniques like breath of fire can increase alertness and energy.
So you can use breath to calm down or energize.
Exactly. It's a direct physiological pathway to emotional regulation, always available.
Okay, so it's not just internal stuff. Our external world, our environment matters too. How does the source guide us to, like, clean up our surroundings for better emotional health?
Right. Environment includes everything. The people you hang out with, the TV shows you watch, even the state of your desk.
A messy desk can affect mood.
It can be demotivating, yeah. Negative influences, whether people or clutter, can drag you down. The book suggests identifying your happiness robbers.
Happiness robbers like what?
Things like excessive social media, constant complaining, maybe leaving tasks unfinished. Those create open loops in your mind, draining energy.
Those nagging unfinished things.
Exactly. Making small, targeted changes to remove or reduce these robbers can have a noticeable impact.
And speaking of external influences, what about music? Almost everyone connects with music.
Music is such a powerful mood shifter, isn't it?
Definitely.
Studies show listening to positive music can boost mood, boost self-esteem, especially if you consciously try to feel better while listening.
So intent matters too.
It seems so. And interestingly, the genre might not matter as much as the feeling the music evokes for you.
So find your own feel-good playlist.
Basically, yeah. Christopher Berglund, an endurance athlete, uses specific playlists to create what he calls an invincible state of mind. It's a great reminder for you, the listener. How can you use music to deliberately shape your emotional state?
Good question. Okay, so we've covered the what emotions are, what affects them. Now let's really get into the how. How are emotions formed? And more importantly, how can we proactively change them?
Yeah.
What's the core formula the book gives?
Okay, the formula. The source explains that many emotions, especially persistent ones, grow through this. Interpretation plus identification plus repetition. Strong emotion.
Interpretation, identification, repetition.
Right, so spontaneous emotions like pure survival fear are kind of distinct. But most of the emotions we grapple with are this second type, the ones we essentially create by identifying with our thoughts about an event.
So it's our beliefs, how we interpret things.
And then repeatedly focusing on that interpretation. Yeah, that solidifies the emotional response. So to change an emotion, you have to disrupt that formula somewhere.
Okay, that concept of interpretation feels really key then. It's not the event, but the meaning we assign. What does the book say about challenging our interpretations, our assumptions?
Exactly. Negative emotions almost always stem from our interpretation, usually because reality didn't meet some expectation we had.
Often an unconscious expectation.
Often, yes. The book encourages us to dig into our underlying assumptions. Things like, problems should be avoided, or I should always be healthy, or I can't be happy unless X happens.
Those sound familiar.
Right. By questioning these, we can swap disempowering interpretations for more empowering ones, like the traffic jam example.
Yeah.
It isn't inherently stressful.
Yeah.
It's our belief that this is a problem or I shouldn't be late that creates the stress.
So changing the story we tell ourselves about the event, that sounds liberating. But what about those really sticky emotions, the ones that feel like they just won't leave? How do we actually let go?
That's a great question. The book highlights that emotions are essentially energy in motion.
Energy in motion.
When we repress them, that energy gets stuck, accumulates, and can even feel like it becomes part of our identity. But the crucial truth is, you are not your emotions.
Remind ourselves of that.
Definitely. And there's a technique mentioned, the Sedona method. It's a 5-step process to practice letting go.
Okay, what are the steps?
1, focus on the emotion, really
Yeah.
feel it. 2, ask yourself, could I let this feeling go? Or maybe, could I allow it to be here? Or even, could I welcome it? It's about permission.
Acknowledging it without fighting it.
Exactly. 3, ask, would I? Meaning, am I willing to let it go? 4, simply answer now, like deciding to release it in this moment. 5, repeat the process as needed.
Could I? Would I? Now.
Huh. It helps practice the skill of release, reinforcing that emotions are just temporary visitors, not who we are.
That's a really practical tool. Okay, so beyond letting go of the negative, how do we actively condition our minds to experience more positive emotions?
Well, again, it comes back to that core idea.
Yeah.
You are what you think about most of the time. Thoughts generate emotions. Emotions drive actions. Actions shape reality.
So we use the same formula.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Interpretation plus identification plus repetition, but for the positive. This means consciously visualizing positive events or outcomes.
Seeing it in your mind's eye.
Yeah, and identifying with the desired feelings, maybe using affirmations, positive statements about yourself or your goals, and then crucially repeating these thoughts and practices daily.
Daily practice, what kinds?
The book suggests things like gratitude journaling, writing down what you're thankful for, visualizing your ideal day to generate excitement, tracking accomplishments in a win log to build self-esteem,
A win log, I like that.
or even using the 5-second rule, counting 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then taking action to build decisiveness and overcome hesitation.
So it's a daily conscious effort. But what about times when, positive thinking just doesn't cut it? Or the negative emotions feel too strong? Can changing our behavior influence our feelings?
Absolutely. Sometimes when emotions are overwhelming, changing your behavior is the most effective route. Take concrete action to shift your state.
Like what?
Like after a breakup, actively avoiding looking at old photos or visiting old haunts, that changing behavior to help the feelings heal.
Makes sense.
Or if you're worried about a presentation, rehearsing it thoroughly changes your behavior, which then indirectly lessens the worry. Sometimes the best action is just doing what needs to be done.
Just push through.
Kind of. Do what you have to do, live your life, and allow the emotions to naturally fade while you continue practicing letting go.
Yeah.
And this ties back to changing your environment, too.
Right, removing those happiness robbers.
Exactly. Reducing exposure to negativity, closing those open loops by finishing tasks. These behavioral changes can really shift your internal state.
Okay, wrapping up this practical section. The source lists both short-term and long-term solutions for negative emotions. Can you highlight some key takeaways for the listener?
Sure. For short-term relief, think about changing your state quickly. Distract yourself. Do something completely silly to break the pattern. Move your body, dance, walk, whatever.
Pattern interrupt.
Yeah. Taking action, even on something small you've been avoiding, can shift your mood. Becoming aware of the emotion, maybe writing it down or talking to a friend is key. Then consciously practice letting it go or just allowing it to be there without judgment.
And relaxation.
Absolutely. Don't underestimate just resting, relaxing, or doing some deep breathing exercises. For longer-term solutions, it's about analyzing the stories behind your recurring emotions.
Digging deeper.
Right. Changing your environment more permanently. Consistent mind, conditioning those daily rituals. Exercise, improving sleep and diet, those fundamentals. And, critically, if issues feel deep or chronic,
Seek professional help.
always a wise step. Don't hesitate to ask for help.
Okay, this deep dive has given us so many tools. So now let's explore maybe the ultimate perspective, how to truly use our emotions as a profound compass for personal growth. What's the overarching message here?
The core message, I think, is that our emotions are sending us a message. They're telling us that our current interpretation of reality is biased somehow.
Receded price.
Yeah. The problem is almost never reality itself, but our interpretation of reality. The source uses powerful examples, like Alice Summer finding joy even in a concentration camp.
Incredible resilience.
Or Nick Vujicic thriving despite being born without limbs.
Yeah.
It shows we have the power to find meaning and grow even in the most challenging situations. But it requires self-awareness.
That ability to observe our thoughts and emotions objectively.
Exactly. Without getting swept away by them, just noticing.
The book mentions the above or below the line model from Jim Dethmer and Diana Chapman. That sounds like a clear way to track our awareness state. How does it help?
It's a simple but powerful model. It suggests we're either above the line, meaning open, curious, taking responsibility, or below the line.
And below the line is?
Defensive, closed, blaming, rationalizing. Usually triggered when our ego feels threatened or our survival seems at risk, even symbolically.
Okay.
So the key is developing the ability to recognize when we've dipped below the line. That awareness is the first step to consciously shifting back above it into a state where learning and growth can happen.
Awareness is step one, always. The book suggests recording emotions. How can we do that effectively to actually uncover patterns and learn?
Yeah, it suggests journaling daily for about a week. Just note the emotion, rate its intensity, maybe 1 to 10.
Okay, track it. Then what?
Then analyze.
Yeah.
Ask yourself, what triggered it? What really happened versus my interpretation? What underlying beliefs might be fueling this feeling? How do I eventually return to neutral? And crucially, what could I have done differently?
Really dissecting the experience.
Exactly. There's an example in the book about feeling incompetent at work. Through journaling, the person realized their interpretation was biased, rooted in a fear of failure, and the solution was actually simple. Ask for help.
So it moves from feeling bad to finding a solution.
Precisely. It turns the emotion into useful data.
Let's zero in on a few really common emotions. That feeling of not being good enough. So many people feel that. How can we turn that into growth?
Yeah, it's pervasive. It usually stems from low self-esteem, right? Focusing only on shortcomings, dismissing successes. People feeling this way often struggle to even accept a compliment.
They bat it away.
Right, downplay it. Oh, it was nothing. To grow, first, identify the triggers. What situations make you feel not good enough? What's the story you tell yourself?
Become aware of the pattern.
Then, actively counteract it. Keep a win log or a self-esteem jar. Physically collect reminders of your accomplishments. Keep a positive journal just for compliments you receive.
And actually accept them.
Critically, yes.
Yeah.
Practice just saying thank you when someone gives you a compliment. It feels vulnerable at first, but it's essential for building self-worth.
Okay, that's practical. What about stress and worry? The book challenges the definitions, right?
It does. It argues that stress, as we usually think of it, doesn't exist out there. No situation is inherently stressful.
It's our reaction again.
It's our interpretation causing the internal reaction we call stress. Worry is slightly different. It's usually focused on past regrets or future fears, often about things we can't control.
So how do we grow from these?
Take responsibility for your stress. List your stressors, then consciously reframe them. Is this traffic jam really the disaster I'm making it? Or is it just traffic?
Challenge the interpretation.
Exactly. For worry, sort your worries into categories. Things you can control, things you have some influence over, and things you have no control over.
Triage the worries.
Yeah. For things you can't control, ask, can I let go of my need to control this? For things you can't change, like a long commute, how can you reframe it? Use the time for audiobooks, podcasts, make it useful or pleasant.
Reframing again. It really does seem like a superpower. Okay, last couple. Fear and procrastination. Huge roadblocks for many. How are these growth opportunities?
Well, fear and discomfort are often signs we're stepping outside our comfort zone. And where's growth found?
Outside the comfort zone.
Exactly. The book quotes, courage is not the absence of fear. It is taking action despite the fear. So the growth comes from learning to become comfortable with being uncomfortable, realizing most fears are just stories in our heads.
And procrastination linked to fear.
Often, yes. Fear of failure, fear of doing a poor job. Or maybe just lack of motivation. It's primarily an emotional management issue.
So how do we tackle it?
The book offers a whole process. Understand the real reason you're procrastinating. Identify your go-to distractions. Set a clear intention for what you will do. Start small. Maybe use that 5-second rule just to begin. Build daily habits. Create accountability.
It's about mastering the mind, not being a slave to it.
Precisely. Each time you overcome procrastination, you strengthen that muscle.
Oh, okay. What an incredibly deep dive into mastering our emotions, from understanding, our ancient brain wiring and that tricky ego, to really practical steps like improving sleep, using power poses, challenging our interpretations, actively letting go. This source has given us a real manual for our inner world.
It really has.
We've learned that emotions aren't just things that happen to us. They're signals. They're tools. They're opportunities for some profound personal growth.
Indeed. And that core message from the author is so powerful to remember. You're not sad, depressed, jealous, or angry. You are what witnesses these emotions.
The observer.
Exactly. You are what remains after these temporary feelings fade away. Your emotions are here to guide you. Learn from them, then let them go. Don't cling to them like they define you.
Because they don't.
They don't.
Okay.
So here's a provocative thought maybe for you, the listener, to carry forward. What if the strongest version of yourself isn't the one who suppresses or ignores emotions, but the one who bravely, curiously, and maybe with some self-compassion just observes them, understands them, and then consciously chooses what to do next?
A powerful question to sit with.
Thank you for joining us on the Deep Dive. We really hope this exploration empowers you to become, well, a true master of your emotional landscape.